Why is fast editing in Fortnite so bad now? Seriously, how did it get to this point? In its prime, fast editing was incredible. There was something so awe-inspiring about watching a fast editor. Hands moving at the speed of light, flying through hundreds of edits effortlessly. The clean, buttery edits seemed impossibly fast. Even watching my own edits, I can't comprehend how my brain can process all of the movement. The pickaxe swooshing and swinging around with the clicks and clacks of the keyboard made watching it extremely satisfying. So what happened? I don't love making a negative video, but it's sadly necessary. I want good fast editing to come back more than anyone, and I despise seeing Epic Games making all of the wrong decisions. Chapter 5 seemed rushed and incomplete already with the extremely basic Rocket League mode, the Minecraft mode that was suspiciously a lot like Minecraft, and the Guitar Hero knockoff that was pretty glitchy. Of course, many people still had fun playing around in them, but they got old very fast. As a result of these modes, the item shop now looks like a coffee shop with 200 different flavors when 95% of people just want one. But on top of all this, Epic had the audacity to take the established in-game movement and alter it completely. The old movement was perfect for Fortnite, and it had some of the most fluid motion I've ever seen in any video game. This was especially impressive since Fortnite has the complex mechanic of building. When the new movement released in Chapter 5, it was abysmal. It reminded me of when gaming characters keep walking when they are up against a wall. In creative, you still ran at the same speed, but something looked really off. In-game was so much worse. The character moved at about half the speed as before, and it made fights extremely sluggish and awkward. They ended up tweaking it a few weeks later, looking slightly better, but nowhere near how it used to look. This isn't just me. Take a look at this poll I did where 94% of voters said that the old movement was better. That means more than 9 out of 10 people prefer the old movement. I also have seen many comments on my channel where people have expressed their serious dissatisfaction. Even with the updated tweaks to the movement, your character looks like it's moving slower. The animation makes it look like you're walking, when before you were sprinting. The sprinting animation complemented the look of the fast edits, while walking takes away from it. As a fast editor myself, it feels so wrong walking through my builds like it's a stroll in the park. My content suffers a lot from this because when I showcase my builds, something just looks really weird. Where I do somewhat agree with this new movement is that it forces you to play more tactically. Personally, I relied heavily on my movement to win fights, so since the change, my fighting has been pretty bad. But I guess that's just a skill issue. I get why they would want to add a new challenge for players. In-game fighting metas really hadn't changed for many seasons. Personally, there would have been many better ways to do this. For example, they could have changed the maximum HP of players, added a new game-changing building piece, or some sort of class system to create more strategy. I've been getting back into Pokemon lately, and it amazes me how complex battling can get with typing, dual typing, natures, abilities, held items, IVs, and EVs. I don't know. I'm not a game developer, but adding more creative changes similar to the ones I just mentioned wouldn't have so severely impacted the fast editing community. Another mechanic that fast editors need to see come back is the pickaxe animation. This change is made around the same time as the movement change, but about a month before for the OG season. It's funny, I didn't even notice for about the first week or so because I was having so much fun in Battle Royale. But as I was recording a fast editing video, I noticed something was very off. Even though I could hear the pickaxe I had used, it wasn't appearing in my hand. This is because they changed the pickaxe so it starts tiny in your hand and gets larger. But when you're fast editing, the pickaxe isn't visible at all. I was a little frustrated, but I was also pretty sure that's what the old animation was like, so I was fine with it since they were trying to add to the OG Fortnite effect. Since we at least still had the old movement back then, it didn't look so bad. I forgot about it and assumed it would return for Chapter 5. Well, it didn't. For some reason, they kept the animation. I couldn't believe it since the OG season was over. And with the new movement, your character looked extremely weird as its arms flailed around during a free build. Why not just stop editing with our pickaxes out, you might ask? See, fast editors love the mechanic of the pickaxe pulling out. Adding to the satisfaction of the gameplay is key. I made a whole video on the subject, and it's my second most popular video because so many people wanted to know how to do it. Basically, the pickaxe swirling around the character as it makes a unique sound is fundamental to making your edits look amazing. Now, the mechanic wasn't gone completely. You could use a loud pickaxe like Frozen Axe or Cold Snap to make up for the loss of animation, but it still looked weird. A few months into Chapter 5, players, including me, realized that single-handed axes still pulled out instantly. It was nice to have some pickaxes that worked, but there was still a huge problem. The mechanic used to be so great because of the near infinite customization. The amount of sounds and styles of pickaxes you could use allowed for so many different styles of fast editing. But now our options were very limited. One of the only single-handed pickaxes worth using is the Leviathan. A cool pickaxe, but most players don't have it, and even if you do, it gets boring fast. I have a theory that Epic Games does not like the fast editing community. It makes sense. Epic wants a hub of gaming with their UEFN editions, and they don't like seeing so many players staying in their own creative maps when they want players to try out all of the random different UEFN game modes and the games I discussed earlier. But this just had the opposite effect. Many people have come to my channel saying they quit Fortnite entirely because of these changes. I myself has pretty much stopped playing except for recording videos. I truly think that Epic knows what they're doing though. A month or two into Chapter 5, they changed the shotgun animation so it pulled out instantly. For the longest time, even before the pickaxe changed, the pump did not pull out instantly. I mean, the old pump pullout from Chapter 2 looked the best. The new one looks pretty jank since it just appears behind your character's neck at full size. But I think this just shows that Epic Games was trying to get fast editors to stop complaining. But again, it gets boring pretty fast, especially since it doesn't even make any noise. It's like the "but we have it at home" meme. The pump pulling out instantly is something, I guess, but what we really want is the actual animation to return. My final complaint is the quality of creative maps. There is a lot you can do with them right now, but there is so much untapped potential. While the new UEFN maps offer more customization than before, normal creative maps had a major drop in quality. Making Fortnite maps without using external software like UEFN is really fun, and it was a major pastime for lots of Fortnite players back in the day. It's much more satisfying. There was less you could do, but it felt like Minecraft creative mode, taking pieces and placing them around the map. There was still a lot you could do. For instance, I made 5 very detailed and amazing Blade Runner themed maps for a video. But one thing that has changed very noticeably is the sky. The sky in old creative maps looked incredible. The sky was very detailed. The clouds had complexity and were majestic. There was so much customization potential because adjusting the settings just a little bit resulted in a major change to the vibe and the look. At night, the stars were vibrant. The sunsets were otherworldly. But let's take a look at what they look like now. Alright, so I'm in creative and I'm going to start up a new map. Alright, so I'm in this map and it's midday and you've got this blob in the sky. It doesn't look great. There's no clouds anywhere. It's just a blank sky, and for some reason there's shadows of clouds here. Now, I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. I would love it if someone could tell me that I'm doing something wrong and there's a setting I can switch to get the old sky back, but I'm pretty sure that this is what we've got. And time of day, default. If you go to night, it's the same thing. There's very faint stars. You get the moon, looks okay. Barely any stars. Again, weird shadowy cloud shapes that don't reflect what's actually in the sky. That's pretty much how it is for all times of day. I could do like 8 o'clock a.m. and that's it. It used to look amazing. There used to be clouds in the sky. It would change depending on what time of day it was. And if you'll notice, there's no anamorphic lensing. When you look around the sun, that used to look amazing. When you were free building and then that lensing, there would be little bubbles of light that would come from the sun, and it looked really cool. And then there's like one sunrise that looks really good. Oh, it's 4 o'clock a.m. actually. One sunrise that looks good, and it's this one. But the other one looked better. The other one obviously just looked way better. This is you can mess around with it a little bit, you know. You can get Turn down the light brightness. Looks a little better. Maybe change the color to red. And it looks okay, but just... This is the one sunset or sunrise that looks good. Everything else looks pretty bad, so... This is the one sunset you get. And if you don't like it, too bad. I think the map changes were to promote UEFN. I like UEFN, but it has some similar issues. The clouds look awesome, I can't lie. They're large and puffy. They have great highlights and shadows that are great for catching the light off the sun. But the clouds are very clearly copy and paste. If you look off into the distance, it's a pattern of about 4 or 5 clouds that repeats itself infinitely. You can customize them a little, but the setting is hard to find and even more difficult to figure out. From my experience, you can basically just make more or less of them appear and customize the colorization, size, and width. It's pretty basic and there seems to be no other options. Now, if I could only make 2 of the 3 things come back out of the topics I've discussed in this video, I would take the movement and pickaxe animation any day. In my opinion, the old movement and pickaxe animation should come back plain and simple. But a great compromise would be to give fast editors what they want by including a legacy movement setting. It could be as simple as a toggle in the settings menu. I imagine Epic wouldn't love this idea though, since the movement has different mechanics depending on the version. But an even better solution may be to add legacy movement and pickaxe animation as a creative map setting. Map creators would have the choice of giving their map old animations or new animations. Then this wouldn't interfere with Battle Royale at all, and all players on each map would either be playing on old movement or the new, not giving any players advantages or disadvantages. As for the pickaxe, if Epic likes the new animation better, we still have some access to it with a legacy option. This would be perfect for me and most other fast editors. Fast editors are the most upset about the movement and pickaxe change, and most fast editors stick to creative anyway. I would love making maps with the old movement, even if it meant having to switch back when in Battle Royale. The most likely time for any of these changes to be reverted would be for the Chapter 2 OG season just a few days away, or in the beginning of Chapter 6. The movement and pickaxe animations are the major issues. It's not the end of the world that the maps could look better, but it's yet another example of Epic Games putting their focus in the wrong areas. On the quest to expand their player base and game variety, they've forgotten about the players that loved the game so much back in the day. I don't know if I can make change with this video, but if anyone at Epic Games is somehow watching, these simple changes would bring so many players back with more excitement than ever. I've been flooded with comments from people who think the same way as me and have quit the game because of dissatisfaction. Fast editing and its community is so great and it shouldn't be cast aside. Fast editing is a true form of art.